Welcome to the University of South Carolina. I'm Rick Cates, and I'll be assisting your professor this year. We know many of you are taking classes online, as we refer to as distance learning. Your professor and I would like to make your learning experience as exciting and rewarding as possible. Let me show you what we have planned for you in terms of technology. Let's take a walk. Welcome to HSPM 700, Approaches and Concepts for Health Administrators. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what to expect in Module 1. It's going to be an exciting class, and I know your professor has given this class a lot of thought. So, how does it get started? It gets started with you logging into Blackboard, or you logging into a lecture on Adobe Connect, or you logging into ETS Media Services after a lecture has already been displayed. I can tell you firsthand from taking a course with Dr. Berg, he definitely adds value to every course he teaches. Remember that word value. It'll come up again and again in this course. Like I said earlier, I really think you're going to enjoy this course. Let's go ahead and get started. Module 1 topics: the forces influencing the United States healthcare system, and an introduction to the U.S. healthcare system. The objectives for Module 1. You will be able to describe the healthcare system of the United States, its organization, and delivery structures. You'll be able to describe the organizational challenges of delivering value, there's that word, in health services, and formulating plans to address these challenges. You'll be able to investigate the role of public health organizations and private entities in the healthcare delivery system of the United States. To assist your learning and understanding of these objectives, several different types of media will be available to you. You'll have lectures on the Triple Aim, the Iron Triangle, and health reform. Also put together for you are some PowerPoints that start with an introduction that asks and addresses the question, does the U.S. have a health system that produces health? And another PowerPoint, the management challenge of delivering value, again there's that word, in healthcare, both globally and from a U.S. perspective. This is the book you'll be using in class. Managing Health Services, Organizations and Systems, the 5th edition by Longus and Dar. Let me crack this book open and let's take a look at it. Go ahead and pull out your book. This module has 2 chapters associated with it. Chapter 1, Healthcare in the United States, and Chapter 2, Types and Structures of Health Services, Organizations, and Systems. Let's look inside. The authors use 2 abbreviations quite frequently throughout the book. The reason I bring this up is that a lot of literature defines HSO as predominantly hospitals and long-term facilities. Throughout the book, I want you to look at it a little bit more broader, to include ambulatory care, emergency care facilities. Like the other day, I had an accident and ended up getting 8 stitches put into my head. Actually, that emergency care facility is what I would refer to as a niche business, or as we'll talk in chapters later on in the course, and we've got horizontal and vertical integration and niche industries. And the reason I say that is that was probably a good spot for me to go get the stitches put in, especially being a bald-headed guy, because I didn't want a scar. The doctor actually took a stitch out during the process because she wasn't happy with it. And she said she gets a lot of experience putting in stitches. We live in the Low Country. I'm actually in Beaufort, South Carolina. And a lot of people come in with cuts from oyster shells, and she said a lot of people come in with shark bites. And I went, shark bites. And I said, there's not a lot of people that get bitten by sharks in the ocean. So he goes, no, Rick. What happens is they catch a shark on their line and then pull the out fishing, they pull the shark into the boat, and when they're trying to get it off the hook, the shark bites them and they need stitches. Anyway, let me get back on track. The point I'm trying to make is on an HSO, think broader, don't just be focused just on hospitals. The other thing I want to talk a little bit about is even in chapter 1, when we're going through it here and we're looking at it, it says right here from the get-go that it starts out describing the general environment in which managers of healthcare organizations work. That manager is going to be you someday. The authors also note that the data and the information presented in the book describes a manager's environment. So you can see there's the value added to you as far as learning some of these procedures and concepts. A successful manager has a comprehensive and accurate understanding of the world beyond their organization. This includes a thorough understanding of trends and developments. Your professor is giving this a lot of thought to expand your knowledge and understanding and to wake you up what is happening in the real world. He's got several interesting topics that he's going to share with you. Some of the resources that Dr. Bird's put together for you is the Hot Spotters, which was recently in the New York Times. It's a way to reduce our health costs by treating the most neediest of patients and using statistics to identify where those patients are located. He has an article from Mogdad about the actual causes of death in this country. And finally, he has another video from Rosalind that gives you a world perspective and the changes that have occurred in the last 200 years. Finally, we will share with you a very comprehensive and interactive flash module from the South Carolina Public Health Consortium. So what is your part? You will interact with your fellow students, and your first discussion topic that you will talk about is going to be the Hot Spotters that was in the New York Times. You'll also get an opportunity to express yourself with an essay and discuss some of the problems in the U.S. healthcare system. I'm sure you're saying to yourself, that's a lot of information. I agree. But this course builds. Spend the time up front and learn the foundation material. You will get much more out of the discussions and the lectures as your professor gets rolling along in the class. So where do you start? I would start by reading the first 2 chapters in your textbook and then going through the South Carolina Public Health Consortium module. So ultimately, you will enjoy the course more. And to tell you the truth, it's definitely worth it to put forth the upfront work. And I honestly believe that this course is the type of course that it can help you to be a stronger manager later on. As I said in the beginning, your professor and I would like to make your learning experience here at the University of South Carolina as rewarding as possible. We look forward to seeing you in class.